So now that the 2023 NBA draft has concluded, we reacted to plenty of mock drafts through news articles or YouTube videos, and today I'm going to be reacting to my 2023 mock draft 1.0 that came out on November 8th. 2022. So yeah, the college basketball season just started. Shout out to Devin. I remember he made this Excel sheet for me because Fanspo did not update their 2023 class yet. And yeah, we're going to be reacting to my first mock draft. I know at this time I did not watch a lick of European basketball or international basketball besides Wemby. So if I mentioned Rupert, probably butcher his name. I don't even think anybody was talking about Bilal yet. I don't even think I watched any G League Ignite yet either. So I probably was just shooting my shot with Sidi Sissoko for I mentioned Leonard Miller. And then we're going to also hear some names of guys that didn't even declare in the draft or that just had horrible basketball seasons last year in college or maybe overseas and they weren't even in the draft or they went undrafted or in the second round. So yeah, this is just fun to look back on. I will be doing my way too early 2024 mock soon, maybe after free agency, which is always fun to look back on that as well. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy these videos, feel free to drop a thumbs up and let's get into this reaction. Yeah, so the standings had Houston 1, Detroit 2, Orlando 3, Pels 4, the Warriors 5. Okay, yeah, because they got off to that slow start. Warriors 5, you had Charlotte 6. Yeah, none of these, I mean, Washington ended up with the 8th pick in the lottery. They traded up to 7, so that was kind of close. Utah at 11, they selected 9th. OKC was exactly 12th when the draft night started, so that was also fairly close. LA are the Lakers at 19, they were 17, so some of these are close, some of these not really. For the trade deadline near then, we'll do it for March Madness, and then we'll do ones once the end of the year. We're gonna have 5+ mock drafts. I just don't look that excited to do this. I don't know why. Maybe I just got home from work. I don't know. Into this. So the first pick, we're not really going to talk about it too much. It's Victor Wembanyama. You guys know everything about Victor at this point. Like, he is the clear-cut 1-1. If he tore his ACL, he'd still go 1-1. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. But yeah, he is the most hyped up prospect we have seen. I think more hyped up than Zion. If he played collegiate basketball, it would feel that way. It might not because you're really not going to hear his name too much throughout the collegiate year. He's not going to be in March Madness or anything like Zion. I was wrong. We heard about him plenty throughout just the NCAA season, and he wasn't even in it. Like that game against UCF, everybody was watching Zion, right? But he's probably the most hyped up prospect we have seen since LeBron James, more than Kevin Durant, more than Luka Doncic, more than Ben Simmons. I agree. Was more than Andrew Wiggins was. Yeah, he's the clear-cut number 1. And Houston looks like they're going for him. They're 1-9 at the moment. I think they just lost to Orlando tonight. So they're 1-10. They have the most losses on the NBA season. They're bad. Now, this is interesting. I don't even know what Detroit would do here. I feel like you got to go Scoot Henderson. Now, like, it's crazy because, like, at this point, erase, it's crazy. It's crazy because at this point, I thought Scoot was an absolute lock to go to. I'll mention it, obviously, and we'll hear from me, especially when I talk about Brandon Miller. But now looking back on it, like, they would have went Brandon Miller because it wasn't insane to do. But imagine, like, it was just 2 point guards there. Detroit could have traded down because you don't really want to add Scoot Henderson to Ivy and Cade. I don't really think that would have worked out. There's a chance that Thompson has a great overtime elite season. I would say Nick Smith, but no. Because Nick Smith is similar to Henderson. Are you going to have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Scoot Henderson? I feel like you have to do that. And the talent is there. So I'm still going to have Henderson go too. But I'm just saying, if Cam Whitmore, Derek Whitehead, Keontae George, Sword Thompson, one of these wings this season balls out and is like that consensus number 3, we could think about Detroit making that tough decision just because they just spent a top 5 pick on Jaden Ivey. They spent the number 1 overall pick on Cade Cunningham. Do they think Cade, Ivey, and Henderson can work? But they can obviously go Scoot and Cade and then have Ivey come off the bench. But then there's that. Can that work, Scoot and Cade? We'll see. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So yeah, like that's what happened with Brandon Miller. He broke out and then it was fine if you didn't want to take a point guard at number 2. And that's what happened with Charlotte. Orlando at 3. I like them going Nick Smith here. A little bit more than a mentor. Yeah, Nick Smith was one of the top collegiate prospects this year, and he ended up going 27th to Charlotte a couple days ago. Thompson, just because they have Franz Wagner kind of at that 3, that 2 spot is wide open. Fultz has had his injury history. Same with Collette sometimes. Suggs hasn't looked amazing in his year plus so far in the league. He's had some injuries, but hasn't looked the best. I mean, their 3-4 is set for the future in Franz and Banchero. If they got Wemby, that'd be super cool, but they got Wendell Carter Jr. there. I think Nick Smith is going to ball out for Arkansas. They're a team you want to keep an eye on this year because you can see 3 players here. You got Jordan Walsh, Nick Smith, and Anthony Black. This is also in an order of Hoops Intellect, which is a big college basketball source. So yeah, I have Nick Smith going 3 to Orlando, and that would just leave Amen Thompson, a freakazoid athlete, going. Let's go. I predicted one 7 months ago, not to the team because I didn't know what was happening there, but the exact spot of where Amen Thompson went. I'm 2 for 4 in this so far. Damn, I could have been 3 for 4 if Scoot went 2. The Pelicans, man. The Pelicans could really get a top 10 pick and make the playoffs this year if the Lakers, because yeah, that was via the Lakers, are bad, which it looks like they are going to be. They're 2-7 at the moment I'm recording this, and they played well against Cleveland. And you can see the talent disparity between them and some of these other good teams. I still believe that they're going to be in the play-in tournament at the end of it, 10 or 9, which you never know what happens when the play-in tournament starts. That's what happened. But it's not looking great. Yeah, like Portland is better than maybe people expected. We'll see if Sacramento is going to be better than them throughout the year. But it's looking like that Pelicans pick is going to be nice, especially if these Anthony Davis trade rumors are true. The Warriors at 5. I would go Dariq Whitehead here out of Duke. Now he will have... I think a little injury kind of glaring over him, but he's going to be a great Duke freshman this year. All eyes are going to be on him for the Blue Devils, being kind of their number 1 guy going throughout the season. And yeah, here's kind of like some second round stuff, but yeah, I moved the players' names over here just so it's not getting confusing with who I have. Okay, well, yeah, I was very wrong about Dariq Whitehead. I mean, he did have some injury concerns, but yeah, Nick Smith and Dariq Whitehead coming into the year were top freshman prospects at their respective schools, and both of them actually had injury concerns and dropped to the second, third of the first round of getting drafted right now. But yeah, Dariq Whitehead, all eyes are going to be on him at Duke this year. I'm very excited. So at 6, second, third also didn't make any sense. The 20s. We do have Charlotte. I'm going to have them going Cam Whitmore, another wing there. We know the whole Miles Bridges, what happened there. James Bouknight looking like it's not the greatest pick. They really need some like super... yeah, they need some super talented guys against LaMelo Ball. Even like a Sword Thompson could be an option here. But it really gets to some good wings in this draft too. Like you're looking at Amen Thompson, a freak athlete for the overtime elite. You're looking at Cam Whitmore, Dariq Whitehead, Keontae George, who I love as well. And speaking of Keontae George, yeah, I really like Keontae George when the season started. And then I don't know. I didn't love him at Baylor this year. I'm going to have him going to the Kings there at 7. I think that would actually be kind of perfect for them because you have Sabonis, you have Keegan Murray, you have Fox, you have Mitchell. You have some other guys, and then you can, and like you have Monk and Herter. But yeah, I like Keontae George. He could be the 2, he could be a 3. I think he's going to be a solid defender in the league, and I really like that pick for them there. Next up, we're going to have Derek Lively, a guy that I'm a fan of. You know, if you watch the Supersonics franchise, going to the Wizards at 8, he could be a good defensive presence next to Kristaps Porzingis at that 4 and 5. You can kind of move Kuzma back to the 3, Beal at the 2, and you still figure out their point guard spot. They could also look at Cason Wallace here potentially to be that point guard down the line for them. But I think the Wizards, it would be really cool for them to win the lottery as well. Like, maybe not the Wemby lottery, but I mean, like, that would be great for them. But yeah, if they were able to get Scoot Henderson, that can completely turn that franchise around. But Beard Kristaps is off to a good start this year. Damn, yeah, like, Lively, I think at the end of the college season, like, was going to go, or like throughout the NCAA season last year, was like mid to late first round. He did not really play all that well in the first half of his year. And then he ended up going 10 to Dallas because team saw the defensive potential. So I wasn't too far off with that prediction. Brooklyn at 9. Lucky they do have their pick this year. Yeah, because it was the Sixers pick in that Royce O'Neal trade. I'm going to have them go Asor Thompson, the brother of Amen Thompson, who went 4th. Yeah, the Thompson twins, they're going to be all eyes on them in the Overtime Elite this year. The Overtime Elite, I believe, just got a streaming deal with Amazon Prime, so that's going to be good. You're going to be able to watch their games because they have some talented guys coming out of them now and in the future. They're getting a lot of hype. We saw Gene Montero play for them a little bit recently, but yeah, Brooklyn's really need to get it. They're Gene Montero, that was a name in last year's class. They're going to have to take a boom or bust guy. Like, they're going to have to take a prospect with a super high ceiling, but also maybe a super low floor, just because Kyrie's most likely gone. What's going on with Ben Simmons? Is KD going to get traded by the deadline? Who knows? Like, Brooklyn kind of needs to hit on this pick. Coming in at number 10, we have the Miami Heat. I like the idea. I like the Miami Heat picking here is just wild, but I like Cason Wallace going to them. He's going to be a point guard at Kentucky. Kyle Lowry's getting up there in age. I was close. Cason Wallace ended up going, what, 12th in this draft? Not terrible. Oh, no. Wait. That's exactly right. Cason Wallace did go 10th. Excuse me. Derek Lively went 12th as OKC. Or no. Who went 12th? No, Keeson Wallace went 12th. I'm sorry. Derek Lively went 10th. I was wrong. OKC, yeah, never mind. Oh, wait, no, I'm right. Keeson Wallace went 10th. OKC traded up, took on the Bertans contract. So Lively, I was a little off. He went 12th. But I was exactly right on where Keeson Wallace went. That's pretty cool. It's looking like he is regressing. They don't have that point guard that's going to replace him. I don't think like Gabe Vincent's going to be that guy, or Max Strus or Hero is going to be converted to a point guard. So yeah, Kaysen Wallace, I think, is going to be. If only I knew those guys, well, Strus and Vincent were going to torch my Knicks in the playoffs. The pick here for the Heat, I'd be very shocked if they're picking here by year's end. But it's kind of cool to see these teams here and what, like, envisioning what these prospects would be like on these said teams. One of 3 first-round picks for Utah. I think that they would go probably Brandon Miller, a high prospect wing that could be a boomer bust guy similar to Asor Thompson, but the potential is there. And like Utah, I mean, 3 first-round picks, they really aren't supposed to be good this year, so they might have 3 top 20 picks, who knows. But you'd expect the Sixers to be better, and I believe, I guess it would be Minnesota's pick to be better as well. OKC, I like Jarace Walker, get another big. I mean, OKC is exceeding expectations right now to start the year. They're probably going to end up in that bottom 7 by year's end, so they're looking at probably one of these prospects. I was wrong there, OKC. You know, pretty good. But with Jarace Walker, power. And it's funny because OKC did finish exactly at 12. Forward, most likely projected to be. Could be next to Chet Holmgren long term. And I actually think that'd be a great pick for them. On to the San Antonio Spurs at 13. I'm a fan of Anthony Black. I think he could be a 1, a 2, or a 3. We'll probably see more wingness out of him this year at Arkansas, or at least I expect him to. He's more of a combo guard. But yeah, you're going to see him playing with Nick Smith and Jordan Walsh. They're going to be an exciting team. San Antonio, add more wings to this group. I mean, they could look at Kel'el Ware there, a center, because Pirtle, they might not overpay for in free agency, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I'm going to have Kel'el Ware go to Utah. Yeah, so there's the first guy. He just transferred out of Oregon, did not have a good freshman year, and yeah, didn't declare for the 2023 draft. So at 14, I was wrong here. Their center rotation is pretty bleak right now. Kadoka has a Buki, or Cleese has a, wait, I said Kadoka. Udoka has a Buki. Wow. Walker Kessler, they could add another talent there into Utah. Knicks at 15. This is tough, man. This is tough. Because do I think they go like Gregory Jackson? I don't know. No, I don't think they're going to take a power forward. I think they would probably go Dylan Mitchell out of Texas. I just hated his game. Hated this game. He was not good at Texas this past year. It's a debate. Like, I'm kind of debating if they would do this. But yeah, I'm going to go Dylan Mitchell here. More of a 3 or a 4. Just like, I want Obi Toppin to play more, and they already have Julius Randle making all this money. It is what it is. We'll see where the Knicks are picking. Is it going to be in the top 15? Probably, I would expect by year's end, but maybe they're a team that has assets and trade like picks and players that they could make a move. So I'm probably going to go through this second part of the first round fairly quickly because a lot of these prospects we don't really know a lot about. Like, to be honest, I don't really know a lot about Arthur Kaluma, at least right now, or at least maybe Amari Bailey. He's kind of fallen off draft boards. He was hyped up as a prospect going into the year. And like even Chris Livingston, like we'll see what these guys can do, but a lot of this is going to be interchangeable by the year's end. So usually I'll do like a lottery to start the year. So like right here, I believe that this would probably be G.G. Jackson, Gregory Jackson to Indiana, like that fit as kind of maybe a 4 or 5 piece. Baba Miller. He just didn't work out at South Carolina. Baba Miller. He's already kind of ran into some NCAA issues, but that's not on him. It's kind of on them being pretty strict. He's an incredible talent. Hopefully we see him back integrated things at Florida State this year. I'm going to go Grady Dick out of Kansas here to the LA Clippers at 18. He's probably going to be a top 20 pick. I like Jordan. This might be even low for Jordan Walsh. I also don't like Jordan Walsh's game that much. So yeah, I just grew to not like it throughout the year watching a lot of Arkansas. Big fan out of Jordan Walsh. Even Terquavion Smith, who's I believe he's a sophomore, or is he going to be a junior? I think a sophomore for North Carolina State. He has a ton of potential, at least with this athleticism. I'm a fan of him. And then, to be honest, the Knicks with their second first-round pick, it's tough just not knowing who these guys or what pick this is from. I'd probably say, I like Chris Livingston out of Kentucky. We'll see. We'll see how he's going to be this year. Yeah, like this stretch of guys, Jordan Walsh, Terquavion Smith, G.G. Jackson, Baba Miller, Dylan Mitchell, Kel'el Ware. Yeah, these did not age well. I'm not expecting anything crazy. Julian Phillips to Chicago. Oh, yes! It happened in the second round, but let's freaking go. I also don't know why Chicago has their pick in this because they were giving it top 4 protected to Orlando. But yeah, they took Phillips in the second round. Hey, that's another one that's correct that just ended up being right. That was lucky. probably going to be towards that first round pick. Julian Strother, I mean, a veteran guy. Amari Bailey, maybe to Atlanta. No, I don't think they would take a flyer on Amari Bailey. I'll probably have him going to Charlotte. He's like similar to Peyton Watson. He's going to be very raw, but maybe that's what these UCL players are. Tyrese Proctor, I think, going to who didn't declare Atlanta. I like that. And then what I say, I said Amari Bailey going to Charlotte. Like I said, they got to take these guys with somewhat, like some big potential. Chris Murray going to Indiana. Oh, Chris Murray went, I think, 23rd to Portland. That was close. If Sacramento had a later first, I would do that just because Keegan, Chris Murray would be pretty cool. I do like Arthur Kaluma out of Creighton. You're going to hear that name a ton this year. Jet Howard out of Michigan going to Utah for their third. Yeah, okay, maybe that's where I thought he could have ended up at one point, but yeah, he ended up going 11, so way off there. First round pick, and then we got Maxwell. I don't know I've heard like this guy's getting hyped up a lot, but Pepperdine, it's tough right now to really know some of these. Yeah, I didn't know much about Maxwell Lewis at this time, and boy, oh boy, I fell in love with his game this past year at Pepperdine. These guys at the moment, Ryan Rupert at Ryan Rupert. Ryan Rupert. See, I told you, I didn't watch a lick of international ball at this time. Well, Jalen Hood, Shafino, he's going to be probably hyped up throughout this year. Indiana, they're going to be good. At least they're ranked right now. They might have even lost tonight. I was checking their score before. It was getting a little dicey. Harrison Ingram has some potential as a wing. Indiana, they're going to take those guys. And then Julian Strother going at 30. So one pick off on Julian Strother. Damn. A lot of these guys, like, I'm unfamiliar with as you are, like, at least some parts of their game. All right, yeah. So I actually didn't do terrible in the lottery, maybe. But yeah, the second half, the only things that were pretty much close. I mean, Grady Dick was off by what, 6 spots? Or no, 5 spots there. Walsh, Smith, Livingston, Phillips, Proctor, no Bailey, no. Chris Murray was off by 2 spots. Chet Howard, I was off by 16. Jalen Hood Shafino was off by 11 spots. And then Julian Strother, I was only off by 1 spot. Like Wemby, I was right. Scoot off by 1 spot. Nick Smith off by 24. Amen, I got exactly right. Dariq Whitehead off by 16 spots. Cam Whitmore, I think, should have ended up around here, but he ended up going 20. It's off by 14 spots. Off by 9 for George. Off by 4 for Lively. 5 for Asor. 2 for Wallace. And then what? 8 for Miller? Yeah, no, 9 for Miller. And then what? 4 for Walker and 7 for Black. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed me reacting to my first mock draft of 2023. This is probably my last time talking about the 2023 drafts in a reaction format. I will have one more video talking about the draft, ranking all their picks. You guys might see that later today, so look out for the double upload. And yeah, drop a like if you guys did enjoy. Thank you all for watching. We're so close to 100K, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.